Cost of living is still high. Let's talk about it.
What are we gonna do about dinner costing $95? Last night I went to a regular dinner with friends. We split 2 apps, mozzarella sticks and spinach and artichoke dip, and then I got salmon with mashed potatoes. And then I had 3 canned drinks. $95! I get paid $29 an hour. I can't be living like this. But like, it was a regular place to be. I don't understand how we can be different. Like, even when you go to Shake Shack, it can be like $30 if you dare to get a milkshake. How is anyone alive right now? Are we all in $8,000 of credit card debt? Is that the only way it works in New York City? And it feels like other places are getting like this now. Like my family in Ohio, it costs the same thing as it costs here, or close. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, it is nuts right now. So just this past couple days ago, my wife and I, we went out for a little date night, put the kids with grandparents, and we got some mommy daddy time. We went out for sushi, and I will say this. One roll we looked at was like $20-something for one sushi roll. And we didn't get cocktails or nothing. We just, my wife had a water, I had a Diet Coke, and we got some, appetizers and sushi rolls. Great time, fun time with the wife, but we got the bill, and it was expensive. It was. And I look at it, and I'm like, for the amount of food we ate, it should not have cost that much. I mean, it's not like we were in some like super fancy spot either. We were just like a random sushi spot. And I remember, I remember doing these date nights, and it would cost us $30, right? It was $30 for us to go out and have a little dinner. We're talking maybe 10 years ago. Now, I can't go to a nice dinner without dropping almost $100. Again, depending on what we're getting, not right. I get that. But the other thing to think about with that too, I'm glad she pointed that out. She said she made $29 an hour, call it 30. That dinner, if you think about it this way, this is where my mind goes. That dinner cost her over 3 hours of her working time. So she worked over 3 hours at work just to cover that dinner. And after taxes and everything else, probably a little more than that. That's crazy to think about.
Here's a hot take. A lot of people are staying single, men especially, because they don't want to be a burden financially. Because life right now is so stinking expensive. Like the cost of living, whether you're renting an apartment or paying a mortgage, it outweighs monthly with all your bills added up. Electric, water, your phone bill, absolutely everything you can think of, your car payment. It all adds up, and nobody wants to be a financial burden. If you have credit card payments, if you have college payments, they don't want to bring that baggage to their partner, so they'd rather struggle alone, which is so sad, but that's the truth. You could work, I just watched a video of a guy talking about how he makes $70,000 a year, and it's still financially hard, which 70 grand is a lot of money in this day and age still. I mean, 70 grand where I'm from, that's a lot of money. Imagine being a school teacher. It's unrealistic. Or having children. That guy was single. Have children in this day and age. It's hard out here. That's why everyone is single. That's why I'm single too. I'm not looking. Nobody's looking.
So as a dad of 2 kids, raising kids in today's age, I will say it is very expensive. It is. And I think to myself sometimes, I'm like, would I have had more kids if I knew it wasn't going to cost so much to raise them? Now, my wife and I talk about this all the time. We knew 2 was our number, right? We knew 2 was it. We love kids, but like 2 was our number for traveling, for everything. We knew that was our magic number. But I do feel like, and I've had conversations with people who are choosing to not have kids simply because they think that they're not going to be able to afford them in today's age. And I hate to hear that. I think the biggest hurdle most people are having is the cost of actually housing, right? From rent to your mortgage, however you choose to live, or maybe you're staying home with parents because you can't afford either. I think that's the biggest hiccup here, is the cost of what it is to be able to live somewhere. That's a major problem. And I don't know how we're going to fix that, because a lot of people talk about, well, let's say we're going to lower rates, right? Well, what happens if we lower rates? Real estate prices are going to go even higher. It's a wild time that we're living in, and I think the only way something's going to change is if something breaks. Something has to break for like a reset, right? Back in 2008, 2009, when we had, the Great Recession, something broke. Subprime lending. That's what happened. The mortgage market, the real estate market crashed, and everything kind of came burning down with it. I don't know what that thing is going to be, but I almost think something like that has to happen in order to get us back like in regular shape. It's wild times we're living in right now, people.
Why is no one talking about how serious the cost of living actually is? So we pay like a really cheap amount of rent compared to like all the other rent I see, and we're a family of 6. We pay $9.50 rent. That's cheap. We're in Missouri. It's like not some nice new place or anything. It was actually built in 1890. My husband is working 3 jobs right now. We buy absolutely nothing that we don't need. And we actually go without a lot of things that we actually do need. I feel like if you're able to do anything that's not just surviving, then you got it good. I feel so sad that I didn't appreciate the times where we were able to actually have fun at this point. So much has changed in the past few years. Like, what? I just really, really want to know. How is everyone surviving? Is everyone working like 24/7? Because that's what my husband does. And I'm just home with my little kids all the time. It's kind of like depressing that we're never together as a family. So I don't know. I hope one day we can be, but it sucks.
I hate that. Real quick, I gotta say it. Shout out to Missouri. That's where I live. It's my home state. But that I think out of everything I talk about, guys, everything on my channel, the one thing I think that gets me the most are these stories, right? It's, the dad's busting his butt. He's trying to make ends meet for his family. He's working his butt off. You got the wife who just wants to have all of her family under the same roof at the same time and just enjoy company. I hate that we're in that time where that's not the norm for a lot of people. Like, it's not the norm to just have time off and not feel stressed about money. Because I do think there is a mixture. It used to be, I would think, like, oh, well, it was just everybody didn't manage their money correctly, right? If you didn't manage your money, well, then shame on you that you're in the situation you're in. But that's not the case today. It isn't. There's still a mixture of that. Don't get me wrong. Like, we have a lot of gadgets. We have a lot of luxuries. A lot of people are spending a lot of money on cars and makeup and bags and all this other stuff. If you're struggling but you're doing that, that's your own ordeal. But what her story, she's like, we're not doing anything. We're not spending the money. We're strictly just trying to live. That's the tough part, right? That's the part that I wish I could help. And she was like, what are you doing in order to live your life like this? And my biggest thing is, like, I would love to look at their spending habit. I want to see where the money's going. I want to see how much they're spending in XYZ. That's what I try to teach here on this channel. So I have coaching calls, right? I do coaching calls every week with you guys, with viewers. There's a link down below in the description where you guys can sign up for a coaching call if you want to have a one-on-one talk with me about your finances. We can do that. I talk about budgeting. We talk about different debt payoff strategies, and we get to attack an actual situation that's remote and specific. My goodness, can't talk. Specific to you, right? That's the benefit of these coaching calls. Now, what I would love to do with her situation is I would love to really dive in deep into the finances and see how we can help, because it's just like, a diet. Like me, I need help with I need to be healthier, right? I need somebody to dive into my habits, my everyday habits, to try and live a healthier life. So it's the same thing. It's just, whichever thing you need to improve on. But I think the biggest thing from this really is, you got to understand your budget. We got to get rid of debt, because debt's the ultimate factor here in everyone's problem is the amount of debt. Yes, we got cost of living and everything, get that too. But most people that are struggling, they have some sort of debt payments. It is what it is.
Living in America in 2025 feels like you're trying to breathe while someone's hand is over your mouth. And they're charging you rent for it. As soon as you get paid, it's gone. You buy groceries and the bags are lighter. You fill your tank and the needle mocks you. Food's up, rent's up, insurance, utilities, coffee. Even your damn toothpaste is up. Everything's up. Except the paycheck. Oh, and everything's also smaller. Shrinkflation? Yeah, that's the way they rob you while smiling in your face. You're not imagining it. The box is smaller. The portions are skimpier. The price is higher, and you're supposed to eat it with a smile. This isn't bad budgeting. This isn't laziness. This is a rigged game where everyone at the top profits and everyone at the bottom is a slave. We're getting taxed, drained, and blamed every step of the way. If you feel it too, you're not crazy. You're just living in America in 2025. And it's fucking brutal.
It is tough right now. I will say that. I do want to challenge that a little bit because I do think there are ways out of it. I don't always want to play the victim game, right? I don't. I don't ever play the victim game. I'll be straight up honest with you guys. I don't ever play that. That's never been my cup of tea. You know, me as a man, I look at my surroundings. I look at the things I'm struggling with. I look at the scenario that I'm in, and I think to myself, I know I'm capable of getting to wherever I want to go, whatever my goal is at that time. And I just have to figure out how to get there. And I take it upon myself to find that path. Now, the biggest thing here is the mindset, right? It's my mindset. And sorry, my hands look weird here, but my fingers swelled up massive. I got stung by a bee yesterday. And I woke up this morning, I can't even move my finger. Sorry. Random story. It's the mindset. The mindset is what we need in order to move ourselves along, to get better, to find more ways to have additional income, to work on our ways to, have less spending, to figure out a strategy of how we're going to improve our lifestyle. That's the key part here. I understand with him, and I'm with him on it's tough right now, but we have to not play victim, and we have to take initiative and move ourselves forward. We have to. Also, if you guys want some free money and you want to sign up and you want to start investing, one company that I'm working with right now is Moomoo. They have a link down below in the description where you can get up to 60, yes, I'm saying it, 60 free stocks. All you have to do is click the link down below in my description, deposit your money in Moomoo app. You can start investing in there with, minimal amount of money. And when you deposit that money, you'll get the free stocks, depending on how much you invest. I'll have a little blow up thing right here you guys can check out. So check them out and use the link down below in the description to get your free stocks today. It's free money. Why wouldn't you do it?
How the fuck's anyone supposed to get ahead anymore on $80,000 a year? Like, you get $5,500 a month, $2,500 of that, if you're lucky, goes to your rent. Then you've got like $800 a month on food. That's being pretty fucking conservative with how the grocery bills are these days. I drive a Ford Mondeo. It's like $100 a week just on fuel just to get to work. Then you've got a few $100 on extra other costs, which literally left me with $300 a week. And houses these days are like $750,000 for some shitbox like this. And I'm supposed to save up like 50, 60, 70 grand just to be able to save up for a deposit for one of these. People these days are trying to get it into their own home. It's like you got fucked up rent, fucked up groceries, fucked up bills. It's just like, how the fuck's anyone supposed to even survive on like what used to be considered like a decent wage?
All right, now, so here's the thing. I'm with him. I am. I'm with him. I'm with the other guy. And I will say, when we are looking at these income amounts, you look at the history, let's go back, when our parents were our age and younger. And they're able to buy a $60,000, $80,000, $90,000 house on a standard living wage, whatever that was back then. Times are good, right? Times are not like that right now. And I want to reiterate what I said. The mindset is a big thing. I don't want everybody to play victim, but I also recognize where we're at in this situation, in the time we're living. The biggest problem and the reason why we're seeing this is because of COVID. Some of you may be like, what the heck are you talking about? At least one of the reasons, right? There's many reasons why this stuff's going on, but a big reason was because of the amount of money that was printed and stimulated into the economy back whenever all hell was going loose. We thought the world was ending because of COVID. We are seeing the effects of a large sum of money coming into the economy, right? Supply and demand. When you have a large sum of money going into the economy, things are going to get more expensive because there is more supply of money to go around. That's plain and simple what's going on right here. In a very elementary, example. Yeah, I'm not an economist. I'm not smart enough to go to do too deep into it. But plain and simple, that's what's going on. That's been our issue this whole time. And again, there's more to that. Yes, I know, I get it. You guys are going to say it in the comments. There's more to that than just that. Yes, I understand. But the big picture here, that was a big start of it. the amount of money coming into this economy has been insane.
Y'all, I come to the realization that after living on the East Coast for a month, I'm going to have to get a part-time job. So, y'all know I left Maryland a year ago to go to Texas. And when I was living in Texas, I was making more money. Y'all know Texas doesn't have any state income tax. And so I was able to save more money, do more things. But when I moved back here a month and a half ago, even though I'm making the same amount of money, I'm getting taxed more. And so I'm not able to put as much money away as I want to, and I'm not able to spend like I want to. So I say all that to say, I'm about to give me a part-time job. I think I want to be a bartender or go back to serving. I was doing that when I was in college. But when I moved here, I also want to ensure that I'm paying for my safety as well. So I'm paying $24.50 for a 1-bedroom, which is a lot of money to me, y'all. That's a lot of money. And typically I'm used to, $1,700, $1,600. In Houston, I was paying $2K, but in $2K, that's a lot for Houston. And you get a lot of bang for your buck. That's like valet parking. I had to bar my lobby, the bells and the whistles. But up here on the East Coast, that's just a nice, decent apartment. And I like where I live, but this economy is trash. And so in order for me to pay off my debt, in order for me to live the way that I want to live, I'm going to have to get a second job. I can't just solely rely off my main income. And I'm going to have to figure some ways to be creative to make more money. Maybe I need to start posting on TikTok more consistently. But y'all, this economy is horrendous. And I like to save money and put money into my savings, but I can't do that living the way that I'm living now. So y'all, what are some good restaurants in the DMV to apply and work at and make some money? Drop down in the comments, let me know.
It's a tough time, y'all. Everybody's needing that second job. It's getting expensive, but I will say he did say that magic word. He said that magic word that everyone's dealing with right now. The D word. Debt. Guys, that is the common denominator in everyone's financial situation where they're struggling. They have debt. Okay? We have to get rid of our debt. We have to live below our means. We have to live a very, 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 very simple life. As Dave Ramsey says, you live on beans and rice, ramen noodles, whatever you got to do. We don't go out to eat. We ain't going to buy new cars. We ain't putting money on the credit card. We are living simple. We're eating simple. And we're going to freaking just survive. Keep the lights on until we can get ahead of this debt. If you guys focus on paying off your debt for the next 12, 24 months, I guarantee you once that debt's gone, think about it, every time a debt payment's gone, that's a raise. It's another raise. Get rid of the debt, guys. Because we can't really pick and choose the time frame we're living in. Yes, cost of living is high and cost of living sucks right now. But think about how it would feel if you didn't have any debt.